True Fiber Geek got here first.
Hey, True.
Nina.
Thank you. Hey, sneezing. I know I'm just on in here.
Sneezing underscore Wang got here second. Ha ha.
Thank you guys for getting first and second. I hope you're having a good evening. I am exhausted, so I'm not going to be on for too long, but I wanted to hop on and chat. I'm going to be eating because I haven't eaten since lunch. I actually did have lunch, so that's cool. But, yeah. So, how are you guys today? How are we doing? How are we feeling? It's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Looking forward to that. I'm so tired. So I had that school demo after work today, and it was non-stop flow of kids for an hour and a half, and we had about 225, 250 flowers and to freeze in liquid nitrogen, and completely ran out of flowers in that 1.5 hours, and saw so many kids, but it was absolutely nonstop, which is why I am here. I will chat for a little while, but I have zero energy, and if you can't tell, I'm starting to kind of lose my voice because I counted to 15 about 250 times today. So, oh, it's been a busy, busy day. Also, I got trapped in the elevator at work for a little while, but only about 5 minutes. It was fine. But yeah, I'll tell you that story a little bit. But I see sneezing. You had a panic attack while driving? Oh my goodness, are you okay? Like, what happened? Sorry, I am kind of losing my voice. It was awesome, but I'm exhausted. So what happened, sneezing? Are you alright? Like I said, I'm gonna eat too, because I haven't eaten since lunch. Driving as the sun was going down, people didn't have their headlights on and were going either way above or way below the speed limit. Oh, I hate it when they do that. I actually followed somebody most of the way home tonight, and that person did not have their tail lights on. So yeah, I get it. It's super frustrating. I'm sorry. And bumper to bumper traffic, 15 minutes. And people... Yeah, but I'd take another sip. Thank you. That is so good, love. Bravo. Bumper to bumper traffic, 15 minutes. People were doing 90 on the shoulder. I hate it when they do that. I hate it when people do that. It's like, that's a good way to get into an accident, my dude. It's so frustrating. Sort of situation, I start saying all the swears. Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to sit down. Today has been just absolutely nonstop since getting to work. I've been going and going and going and going all day long. It was good. It was a good day, but I am completely exhausted. uh, yeah, I bet. I'm so sorry. Sorry. So, Sorry, I'm swallowing that bite. Our elevator at work is ancient. It's definitely older than I am. And so we have rules about using the stairway. You need to be able to have at least one hand that holds the rail at all times for safety reasons. We're very safety conscious, okay? So I had gone downstairs to get some breakfast, which is what I'm finishing right now. It's a bagel. um, and some coffee. So I had my breakfast in one hand and I had coffee in my other hand, and I was like, okay, I'll just take the elevator, make it easy on myself, not having to try to balance my coffee into my arm, you know. I don't want to accidentally squish the cup and then have coffee all over myself. So I decided to take the elevator. So pushed the button, door opened just fine, got in the elevator, door closed behind me. I pushed the one button to go to the next floor. It's a 2-floor elevator, okay? And it opens up on 2 sides. For one floor, it opens up on this side, and for the other floor, it opens up on this side. So I press the 1, and I stand there, and I'm like, nothing's happening. Did I not push the button well enough? So I tried pushing it again. Still nothing was happening. It's like, okay, maybe just give it a minute. This is weird. But nothing was happening. So I was like, you know what? I'll just take the stairs. It'll be fine. So I pushed the open door button. And nothing happened. So of course I'm like, okay, now what? So I noticed that there's an emergency call button. At this point, I've been on the elevator for a couple minutes. Like, it didn't feel like it was moving or anything, and I'm like, okay, this is great. I have a meeting in like 15 minutes with my boss, and I'm stuck on the elevator. So I tried pushing the emergency call button, and it is not a call button. It is a bell in the shaft of the elevator. When you push that button, it sounds like an old school bell. Like the ones you hear in a cheesy 80s movies. Like, that's what it sounds like. And it's just in the shaft of the elevator. Like, it doesn't call anybody. It's like 7:45 in the morning. There's nobody there. Nobody's hearing this bell. And I'm like, okay, this is great. My first thought was maybe I could just call my boss, let her know I'm stuck in the elevator and she can get somebody. But then I thought about it. I was like, nope. They drilled in training, they drilled the number, the emergency number to call for on-campus emergencies, not health medical emergencies, but, you know, security emergencies. So I had my cell phone, so I used my cell phone, I called the number that took me to the security desk, and I told the guy, I was like, hey, I am stuck in the elevator. And he goes, oh, okay, I will get somebody from building services over there as soon as possible. And I was like, great, thanks. And at this point, I had been on the elevator for about 5 minutes, at minimum 5 minutes. And I was like, cool, okay, well, at least I have my food, I have my coffee, thank you. And I have my cell phone, so I can chill out. And I get off the phone, and like 30 seconds later, the opposite door that I had entered, the door that goes to the next floor, started to open, and it wasn't even with the floor that I was headed to anyway, but it started to open, and I noticed that it was like 8 inches or so from being even with the floor, and as I'm looking at it and it's slowly opening, it's slowly rising to meet the other edge of the floor, and I was like, oh, that's great. So it was moving. I just couldn't feel it because it was going so slow. So as soon as it evened with the other floor, I like jumped out of the elevator. I'm like, nope, not doing this. Just out. I'm done. And I immediately called the security desk back and I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, I got out of the elevator. It is on the first floor. Please put a sign on it that says out of order because it is moving at a glacial pace. So yeah, That is, I guess I thought I was stuck on the elevator, but it took 5 minutes to go from the bottom floor to the next floor, when usually that takes about 30 seconds, if that. So, yeah. It was weird. But I managed to make it back to my desk before my meeting with my boss, so that was good. But yeah, good. That was the start to my day. And then right after that meeting, I had another meeting, and then I had another meeting, and then I had to finish a project, and then I had another meeting and another meeting, and then another meeting, and then a class, and then I went to the demo. So it has been boom, 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 boom all day. I've not really sat down much. This is nice to sit down and just kind of chat for a minute. Eat some food and have some water. Yeah, definitely grounds for out of order. And they've been needing to replace this poor elevator for a long time. Like I said, I am certain that this elevator is much older than I am. I would bet that it was probably installed in the 70s. So it's about 50 years old or so. Ish. So, yeah. Yeah, it needs to be replaced. But it's the only elevator. And so it's kind of important to have it work for those who need it. I'm not saying that I was one who needed it. I could have taken the stairs. But I had my hands full and I was like, I'll just take the elevator. It's fine. But it was not indeed fine. So. But it's okay. I made it out. I'm not still trapped. It's fine. But I am beat and I'm hungry. I will at least try to read a story. We'll read the next one of these, but I'll wait and see if maybe we get Whiskey and Jax and some other of our friends here before I do that. But today's stream is not going to be long. I'm sorry for that, and I'm not going to make anything, but I didn't want to not get on because I said that I would, and I try to do what I say. I try very hard. And I love hanging out with you guys. So is anybody making anything? Anybody doing any crafts tonight? Or are you just chilling out too? If you're just chilling, I totally get it. It was weird to see an elevator that wasn't even with the floor, though. I'd never seen that before. Yeah. Working on the bag. All right, fantastic. Might switch back to my cardigan. Okay. Sometimes you gotta switch it up, for sure. So what stitch are you doing for the bag? My jaw is popping when I'm chewing. It's weird, okay. It's a cross double crochet, but it's using 2 strands of yarn. Ooh, interesting. Would you mind posting a picture in the Discord? I would love to see that. My computer is just starting Discord. It's not even logged me into Discord yet. Also, after I finish up the kitchen, gotta do food prep for tomorrow since I'll have like 20 minutes to make dinner before having to take the eldest back to school for band stuff tomorrow night. You know, let us know if you need any help. In stream chat, okay. Oh, cool. That's a beautiful stitch. So, are you crocheting both of the strands together? I need this closer to my face. I think the only way I'm going to get this closer to my face is by pulling it up on my phone. Let me do that. No, that is not what I told you to do. Silly window. Okay, let's see. So they're both in a single stitch. Okay. Let me Discord. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so, oh, I get the cross. Got it. Okay. That is cool. That's a similar kind of thing to, they look like little hearts. I dig it. That's cool. That's a pretty color too. That nice maroon, burgundy kind of color. Very nice. But yeah, true, if you need any help tomorrow, let us know. What is the band thing that Kiddo has? Oh, so my favorite thing to ask kids when they come through this kind of demo, because it's all fast paced and you're talking to like 1-2 kids at a time. My favorite thing to ask them after they've frozen a flower into some liquid nitrogen is, all right, you want to be a scientist? And I absolutely love kids because they will tell you what they think. And I got some straight up no's. No, I'm not gonna be a scientist. That was cool, but I'm not gonna be a scientist. I got one girl who was like, I want to be a teacher. I was like, well, you know, teachers are scientists. And then I got the best answer today. I had one kid with just like the most sincere voice. I asked him, I was like, all right, man, you want to be a scientist? He looks at me and he goes, I already am. I'm like, that is a fantastic answer. Yes, sir, you are. You question anything about the world and you try to research and find an answer, you are a scientist. Bravo. Best answer. Loved it. And then so the little girl overheard that exchange. The little girl after him overheard that exchange. And so when I asked her if she wanted to be a scientist, she goes, I already am. It was so cute. She said it all sassy. I already am. Like, yes, ma'am, you are. Bravo. Alright, mostly it's just timing everything because we have a football game tomorrow night and then back at school by 5 a.m. Saturday to leave for band competition. That is, gotta love being in marching band. Well, like I said, if you need anything, just let us know. If younger kiddo needs to come and hang out over here, that's cool. He can hang out over here. We don't mind. Just let us know. Food. I'm sorry, I'm stuffing my face. Whiskey! brought sodas and snacks. Yay! I brought this much energy. This is what you're getting tonight. I'm so tired. And I'm eating because I haven't eaten since lunch. So, and I'm drinking water because I've been talking a lot for the last few hours. I counted to 15 about 250 times in the last hour and a half. But how are you this evening, my friend? Are you doing all right? Yes, I know. I know. You said to make sure I eat. And I did. I had this with me, and it just, oh my gosh, today was just so fast-paced that I got breakfast, and I got lunch, and this is some leftover from breakfast. And I was like, okay, I will eat it between work and the demo. I did not have time. Because I left work a little bit later than I had intended to, and then I had to stop by and get flowers to freeze for the demo. And then by the time I got to the school, it was like, okay, we need to set up. We need to set up right now. And then we were barely finished setting up, and there were kids like lined up to come into the classroom that we were in, which was awesome. We saw so many kids. And so many of them were like, this is my favorite room. We get to do science, which is awesome. I love that. So, but I'm exhausted. It was great, though. It really was. So, I had one kid who came up about closer to the end of the day, closer to the end of the time, and he was wearing the exact same shirt that I saw another kid wearing earlier in the day, and they were like the same height. And I was like, my friend, you've already done it. And he's like, no, I haven't. And his mom was right behind him. He was like, no, we just got into this room. I was like, oh, well, there is another kid that looks pretty close to you who has the exact same shirt on. And it was like, it was Pikachu, and it was there was like a pumpkin background. It was super cute shirt, like Pikachu and Ghastly and Haunter. It was a Halloween Pokemon shirt, and it was super cute, and I vividly remembered it. But I was like, yep, there's another kid that has that exact same shirt on, so I apologize. But we ran out of flowers. Like, at the last few kids got frozen leaves because I ran out of flowers. Oh, yeah. The kids get so excited about science, and it's so great, because it is a great way, especially since the majority of us who do the demos are women. We are women professional scientists, and we get to come to these schools and show these young girls, you know, that there are women in science, and you so totally can be in science. So that's pretty awesome. So, yeah. But they got to pop bubbly high fives that's created via dry ice, so it's a lot of fun, and cleanest high fives you'll ever get. And then they got to see our liquid tower of our colorful tower of bubbly liquid, I guess is a better way to say it. And then freeze a flower in liquid nitrogen. That's what we did today. And I ran out of flowers. I bought 3 bouquets, and each bouquet has about 75-ish flowers, because it's those little daisies. So yeah, and we ran out of flowers. Like, the last few kids got leaves because that's all I had to freeze, and then I had to be the one to actually freeze them. And then because it was too close to liquid nitrogen, I was not about to let a kid get their fingers in liquid nitrogen. And then I had them hold their hands out above the trash can, and I just dropped the leaf in their hands, like, all right, crush it. They thought it was cool, so it was fun. Would have loved to have been a geneticist. Didn't think I could convince people that eugenics could be used to cure diseases. 6th grade science teacher made science so fun. I still remember a lot of things he taught us. And those are the teachers that you remember, obviously. The ones that do that make things fun and engaging and interesting. Those are the ones a little bit sneezing, little bit. Um, but yeah, those are the kind of teachers. But it was so funny how many of the kids were like, no, I don't want to be a scientist. And some of them were like, yeah. And some of them were like, I want to be a teacher. And then I had one kid who was like, I'm thinking, like, gave me her history of thoughts as far as what she wants for her future. She's like, I think I want to be a musician, but then I also kind of want to be an artist, but maybe those can be my side gigs and I can just be a scientist. And I was just like, yeah, you could. I mean, I'm a scientist and I do art things, and yeah, now I ride STSs. It was pretty great. I had one kid who was like, I'm the center of my football team and I'm going to be an NFL player. And I was like, sure, dude. He looked like a solid, like, I don't think you could have pushed that kid. Like, he was solid. It was probably about 7th grade, 8th grade. But yeah, I was like, I bet you do play football. Yeah. He seemed to really like it. And his brother, though, who was just as solid, looked at me and he was like, I might want to be a scientist. Like, all right, it's a good answer. I like it. So after the ones that always said, yeah, I was like, all right, you want to come work with me? And they're like, yeah. Like, you wouldn't like my job. It'd be boring to you right now. I love it, but you wouldn't like it. Oh, I'll tell you, the joke and the question and the riddle are not changed. I'm sorry. I got home, I spoke with Jester for a little bit, and got on, but I'm just gonna be chatting. I'm not gonna crochet today. I'm not gonna chat for very long either, but wanted to get on and talk with you guys for a little bit. I'll read a story. Where did I put it? It's right in front of me. It is literally next to my hand. Ooh, ramen, nice. Awesome sauce. Good job. My lips are chapped. I spoke a lot today. Okay. Yeah, I ate some food. I felt so bad. Sorry. The other scientist who went with me to the demo was actually planning on going to, and is currently, she should be there by now. She was planning on going to another event that our work was having that was big and fancy, and I really wanted to go to it too, but I knew I was going to be exhausted after that, and I was like, there's no way. I don't want to be there late anyway, so I didn't want to arrive late. I was going to push her like out the door 30 minutes before the event actually ended, but we were so non-stop that I didn't even have time to think about what she was doing. And she was running the other experiment. I never saw how often she refilled her flasks. I never saw how many things of dry ice she used. She also never saw me refill my container of liquid nitrogen, and I did it 3 times throughout the time that we were there. And yeah, we were just so caught up in just the non-stop flow of kids that we completely lost track of time until suddenly over the intercom it said, hey, you guys have 10 minutes and then we're locking the doors. And I was like, what? And then I didn't have time to register that because I still had kids that wanted to freeze the last remnants of flowers that I had. And at this point, they were just really little buds because all of the big flowers had been taken except for 4 of them that didn't have stems. and I was not going to let a kid hold a flower that didn't have a stem in the liquid nitrogen. So what I did was those last 4 flowers, um, I put them into the liquid nitrogen and I fished them out myself and had the kids hold their hands out above the trash can, and then I would get it out and I would toss it back and forth from one hand to the other for a second, and then I would drop it in their hands and let them crush it. But got a lot of really cool reactions. A whole lot of videos were taken from parents. I doubt any of them will tag my company in them, but that'd be cool if they did. um, but yeah, it was successful. It was really good, and I'm really tired. I'm still blown away with how many kids we had come through. So. And then, now, we were getting close to not having any more flowers left, and this kind of burns my biscuits just a little bit. We had still a pretty decent line of kids, and I get it. I get this. Okay, so we had a really decent line of kids. We were running out of flowers. We had maybe a dozen left at this point, and there were easily another dozen kids that were coming into the room, and this kid comes up, and his guardian came up as well and insisted that they also get the chance to do it. None of the other parents did it, and we were trying to, like, I had just told a kid right before they walked up that had already done it, because they were like, I want to do it again, and I was like, well, we got to save flowers for the rest of the kids that are coming through. And this guardian was right there and heard all of this and insisted that she do it. And I'm like, I don't want to cause a scene. We're already here late. Whatever. So I let her do it, but that bothered me. It's like, I know it's really cool. I know you wanted the opportunity to do that, but this was for the kids. Like, I don't know. That just, like, there were these tiny little kids that wanted to do that, and that bothered me. Is that fair that bothers me? Yeah. 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 But that guardian was the only person that did that. The rest of them were all kids. And, like, okay, so there was a high school student. So this was like 8th grade and younger. And there was very clearly an older sibling that had brought their younger sibling to this thing, and you could tell that this kid was just barely old enough to drive, like, and that they are bringing their sibling because maybe their parent wasn't able to come or something. You could tell that this was not a parent. This was a kid. Then this was earlier in the day, and I let him do one because he thought it was just really cool. It was very clear that he was still in a grade of some kind. So it was like, yeah, absolutely, I let him do it, But, yeah. But it was like the very end of the day, and I was just like, I even made her let this guardian, I made them let me guide them. I didn't let them do it by themselves. Saying, fine, you want to be a kid? I'm gonna treat you like a kid. Maybe that's a little petty of me. But thank you guys for validating that for me. And what's really cool right now is, for me, I'm sorry, I'm gonna point this out, it's a little random, but Sneezing, your name is in purple. Whiskey, your name is in lime green. And True, your name is in like this burnt orangey red. And it's giving very Hocus Pocus vibes right now. And it's making me happy. I don't know why in my chat that's how you're coming up, but I love it. Thank you. Thank you guys for validating my feelings. It is. It's giving very hocus pocus vibes right now. I love it. I'm so tired. And I'm out of flavor, so this is just water, which is fine. But it's like trying to give me flavor. It's very sad. Yes, absolutely. True shows up as dark green on yours. And so that's funny because so this is I've got Twitch kind of up in two places. I've got the Twitch, the stream that I look at, and then I have OBS stream where I control everything. And both of them have the chat. But the chat that I look at all the time is just my stream manager thing. Now, on OBS, Sneezing, you are still purple. Whiskey, you are still lime green. And True, you are actually dark green on that one. But on this one down here, you guys are purple, green, and red, which is kind of reddy orange, but it's really cool. I could post a picture. There. That is what I see. It's very cool. So you're seeing kind of what I'm seeing then. That's cool. It is interesting that it changes colors for everybody. Very close, but whiskey's a darker green. Okay. Huh. But yeah, it's giving very Halloween, and I love it. Very mindful, very demure, as the kids say, I guess. I don't know. It's an automatic thing. All right. We have 5 of these little Halloween stories left, which is perfect because we have 5 more, well, this one and then 4 more streams before Halloween, if I am remembering my calendar correctly. Yeah, I was right. Oh, Thursday is Halloween. Halloween is a Thursday, not this Thursday is Halloween. 2 weeks from today is Halloween. Very demure, very mindful. Alright, you guys wanna have a story? I will try to read. Let's go to our creepy music here. If that is too loud, let me know. I will turn it down. Alright. This one is called... Hey, Jax! Jax is in orange. That's wild. Alright. Well, hey, Flo! Somebody said Halloween? Yeah, we are getting into a story now. Alright, so I'm not crocheting today, I'm just hanging out, I'm tired. But we're gonna get into the story. Surprise at St. Cuthbert's. About a mile from St. Cuthbert's, Rod Sweeney made a sharp right turn into a parking lot and drove to the furthest corner. He wanted to talk to himself in the rearview mirror without anyone seeing what he was doing. Look, he said to his reflection as he put the patrol car in park. You are 32 years old with a family. You have been a cop for 7 years and a good one too. Your colleagues respect you and your family believes in you. This is probably an entirely routine matter and you are in charge, so take a deep breath and get over to that school. The self-scolding seemed to work. Rod straightened in his seat and drove back onto the street, prepared at least for the moment to face his 5th grade teacher, the formidable Sister Agnes. No longer the terror of the 5th grade, but now the principal of St. Cuthbert's. Sister Agnes had called the sheriff's department a few moments ago with a request. Actually, a command that an officer be dispatched immediately to deal with a matter, in her words, of grave consequence. Rod got the call. In the years since he'd graduated from St. Cuthbert's, Rod Sweeney had encountered the tiny nun only twice, but each time she had inspired the same fumbling uneasiness he'd felt every day in the 5th grade. Today, he feared, would be the same, no matter how intensely he lectured himself beforehand. There was no surprise for him as he approached the large double doors at the front of his old school. The separate boys' and girls' entrances of his day were gone, but he knew about that. Nor was there surprise at the level of security. The doors were locked, and he had to be buzzed in by someone in the school office. And there was even less surprise when he stepped inside and saw that Sister Agnes, tipped off by whomever had been on the other end of the intercom, was on her way down the hall to meet him. "Roderick, we heard you had become a police officer." She paused for a moment, her expression suggesting it was a struggle to come to grips with such an unlikely possibility. Then, with one hand, she pointed behind her where the ring of keys magically appeared in the other hand. "This way," she said. Rod followed meekly as she swished back down the hall. Sister Agnes, unlike the other nuns in her order, still wore the traditional flowing black habit. If not been for the sight he encountered when she led him into the storeroom, Rod would have slipped deep into 5th grade mode again. The table full of strange objects, however, pulled him abruptly into the present, especially the skull. Its hollow eyes and grinning teeth reminded him that he was a cop, and this was quite possibly an indication of a serious crime. "Sister Mary Frances, 1st grade," sniffed Sister Agnes, as if the name alone explained the bizarre collection. "Since your time." It was obvious that Rod's former teacher had grave misgivings about Sister Mary Frances. "Of course, you can see the skull, Roderick. It is why I called the sheriff. The rest of it is all toys and curios, Halloween drivel. I've examined all of it carefully, except the skull, of course. It is real, is it not? And a human skull?" Rod nodded. The 5th grade memories had totally disappeared. Sister Agnes's voice suddenly dropped to an uncharacteristic whisper. "It's from Frenchman's Creek, Roderick, the skull. Do you think... well, it must be part of that..." She searched for the right word. "That recent discovery." Her voice recovered its normal timbre once she felt confident with her choice. The recent discovery at Frenchman's Creek was a body. 2 fishermen had found it, but rather than notify the sheriff's office, they opted instead to call a local television station, which offered a reward for breaking news. The result was that the fishermen got to spend a weekend in Las Vegas, while everyone else in Rod's hometown was treated to constant replays of the hapless corpse being raised from the water. What made the news sensational enough to qualify for national coverage as well was that the body was tied to a cement block with loop after loop of fishing line, and the head was missing. 2 weeks later, the identity of the victim was still a mystery. Although his first impulse was to return to the patrol car for a pair of rubber gloves, Rod thought better of it when he realized the skull would have who knows how many fingerprints on it by now. Instead, he took out his penknife and tried, unsuccessfully, to slide the blade under the fishing line that was tied around the skull. The line crossed over the nose cavity and cheekbones and was knotted tightly at the back. It was now dried out after having been in water for a time. Several inches of line trailed away from the knot and ended in frayed shreds. Rod could easily see that the skull had once been tied to something, but the line had broken. I noted the fishing line immediately, Sister Agnes explained, thereby making clear that everyone else in town she had followed the news reports very carefully, like everyone else in town. Rod gave up on the penknife and put it back in his pocket. He took out his pen and used it to shift around some of the other items on the table so he could get a better look at them. It was a curious array: a conical hat, obviously part of a witch costume, 2 plastic jack-o'-lanterns, a shoe with stars painted on it, a bicycle inner tube, the stub of a candle, a very old and faded Roy Rogers holster with no gun in it, a can of, he bent over to be sure, yes, a can of worms, live ones. Where did all these... He wasn't allowed to finish the question. Sister Mary Frances. Again, in the mind of Sister Agnes, that was sufficient explanation, but Rod's lifted eyebrows made her carry on. Sister teaches the 1st grade, and yesterday, as you know, was Halloween. The children have been thinking of little else for weeks, no matter how hard we try to distract them. She buried both arms deep into her habit, as if the position would shield her from the foolishness of Halloween. Now, what Sister Frances proposed, and I acknowledge that from a certain perspective it has some educational sense to it, she asked the children to bring one item to school today that they could use to tell a story about their Halloween experience. Rod looked at the inner tube and his eyebrows lifted again. As I say, it has some sense, Sister Agnes continued. Usually, the children have so much candy and other dreadful sweets that they're all sick to their stomachs by noon, and her idea was to create a distraction. It was the young Ferguson boy, Sean. He is the 6th in the family. There are 3 more Fergusons here at St. Cuthbert's. He's the one who brought the skull. Sister Frances called me, and I called you. She hesitated. Well, I called the sheriff's office, and they sent you. Young Sean is in my office. He says he found it at Fisherman's Creek. You did the right thing, sister. Rod felt good being in control and said it again. You did the right thing to call us immediately. If you don't mind, I'll use your office to speak to the Ferguson boy now. I'll have to use your telephone, too. My cell doesn't work in here, and I'll have to get the forensic people involved right away, incidentally, he went on. I'm confident there's no connection between the skull and the recent discovery at Frenchman's Creek. No connection, Roderick? What makes you say that? What makes him say that? So what do you guys think? Did I put you all to sleep? Sorry. It doesn't say what condition the recent discovery was, but my guess is that yeah, what True just said. The nun did it. I got distracted. No worry, Jax. Alright, are you guys ready for the solution? I figured as much, sneezing. No worries. Yeah. Alright, the solution is... The body discovered by the fisherman 2 weeks before was weighed down with a concrete block, and fishing line was used to keep the body and the block together. Since the body was still tied to the block when it was found, it was clear that not a long time had passed between the disposal of the body and its discovery. If a long time had passed between disposal and discovery, the body would have decomposed or have been eaten by aquatic life in Fisherman's Creek, and the fishing line would have been loose as a result. Quite likely, the remains would have become separated from the cement block. In contrast, the fishing line around the skull found by the Ferguson boy was tied tightly to the bone, so there was no flesh on the skull when the line was applied. This indicates that the skull comes from a body that met its end quite some time before the discovery of the body by the fisherman. So, yeah. Yep. So, good job. All right. Thank you, guys. That was our not quite midstream mini mystery. Yeah. Another body. Much older. A little while, anyway. Sufficiently creepy sounding music going on right now.
Hey Maze. Jax wants
like
to
the
remind you
murdery
to
ones.
check your posture.
Ah. I'm comfortable, Jax, thanks. I'm just teasing. Alright. Oh, man. But, yeah. I won't be crocheting today. I'm just gonna chat for a little while. But I wanted to give you guys a story, because I know we like those stories. The murdery ones are pretty fun. But, yeah. Boy, I'm tired. No. But I wanted to come on and hang out for a little bit and see how you guys were. How are you doing, Jax? I know you popped in right when I started to do the story, so made baked mac and cheese. Nice. And Flo, you also popped in right as I was starting the story. Hello, hello. Glad y'all are here. Baked mac and cheese sounds delicious. I had the rest of my bagel with cream cheese for dinner. But I did have coconut shrimp for lunch today, so that was delicious. Yeah. And a nice cup of jasmine tea, which I could totally go for again right now. Actually just woke up and popped in. Well, thank you very much for popping in. I'm about to fall asleep on stream. That would be weird. First time making it, came out really good. Nice. Made ratatouille with chicken and cheese on top. Nice. Nap time stream. Everybody, nap time. Community nap time. Oh. I guess some of you guys weren't here for my earlier story. I think it was only Sneezing and True that were here at the time of, I got trapped on the elevator at work today for a little while. Kind of, sort of. It was interesting. I woke up because Fern sat on my head. Aw. Do you know that the I'm Only Sleeping category is actually about a game that's called I'm Only Sleeping? Okay. People are not supposed to sleep in that category. Okay. The teenager made sure I didn't have leftovers. That sounds about right. It wasn't that bad. I kept my cool. I was pretty proud of myself. But it did take a little bit of time to get out of it, so. Let's not, Flo. Honestly, I would do the same thing. I don't know that I've ever had ratatouille. I don't think. Yeah, let's not, Flo. Let's not. That's a little too far. Yeah, no, the elevator just decided to go like really, really slow. I'm gonna shorten the story. Got on the elevator, door opened just fine. Got on, closed the elevator door, pushed the button. Didn't feel like anything was happening, so I pushed it again. Still didn't feel like anything was happening. Tried to open the door, didn't open. Pushed the button for emergency call, and it wasn't really a call button. It was a bell that sounded like an old school bell from like 80s movie or something. Um, so I called the security desk and was like, "Hey, I am trapped on the elevator. Help!" And but I had my breakfast. I had my breakfast and I had coffee and I had my cell phone. So I was like, whatever. He's like, okay, I'll let building services know. We'll get you out as soon as possible. Well, then I got off the phone, and at this point, it had been about 5 minutes. I was on the elevator, and the door started to open to the next floor, and it was like 8 inches away from being even with the next floor. And the door opened really slowly, and I could see that the elevator was going up to meet the next floor, and it was just really, really slow. And by the time it managed to get to the next floor, I like jumped out of it because I was like, yeah, I'm getting off this thing. And I called security back and let them know that I did manage to get out of it, but that we needed to put a sign on that to make it not be used right now. So, I'll have to make it for you sometime. Security. Sounds delicious. I would like it. I don't know about my boys, but I would like it. But they would try it. That sounds delicious. I like veggies. Hey, Tay.
Hey, Maze. Tay-Taybo41808
Thank you.
thinks it is time for you to drink some water.
I need to get a new flavor thingy. Yeah. Thank you very much for the redemption. My kiddos love it. That's because your kiddos love vegetables. It's awesome. How are you, Tay? I'm sorry, I am not all energy today, and I'm not crocheting today. I've almost lost my voice. I'm tired. Actually going to be ending stream here in just a few minutes. I really appreciate you guys popping in. Y'all are awesome. I'm sorry I'm not all, peaches and cream awesome right now. I really appreciate it that you're here and hanging out. Been having a rough week. Oh no. I'm so sorry, Tay. I just did stream elements. Anyone want a few dog? Oh. No. You love Fern anyway. He's just trying to get your attention. Oh, free. That'd be a really long drive for me. I would love to have a dog, but it would not be free here. It would cost a lot. Yeah, I'm sorry that you've been having a rough week, Tay. I hope it gets better. Tomorrow's Friday. Yay. Only if you want to talk about it, of course. My lips are super chapped. Ugh. Was talking a lot. And this is peppermint, so it kind of burns. But I need it. I don't really want to talk about it. No problem. No problem. I'm sorry that it's been a rough week, and I really hope it gets better. And just know we all care about you, and we're here if you need us. Absolutely. I'm so sorry. Took a nap today, 3 hours. Oh, that sounds nice. Naps are good. I wanted to take a nap today. I want to go to nap right now. Yeah, sometimes you just need a nap. Well, my beautiful friends, you know I love you and I appreciate you, and I'm so glad that you're here hanging out, but I am so tired. Yeah, I I'm gonna go sleep myself. If you nap now, that's just sleep. Yes, but I love sleep. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry I'm not usual energetic person right now. It's just been a long day. But thank you guys so much. Y'all are fantastic. I appreciate you. And I will catch you next week. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Make good choices and all that jazz. Be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you guys next week. May your yarn never tangle. Bye.